Have you ever been listening to native English speakers and just felt lost, like the words are all blurring together, or maybe you can't quite catch even one phrase?
Oh, absolutely. It happens all the time.
You are definitely not alone if that's you. It's a really common thing for learners, and yeah, it can be incredibly frustrating.
It really is a widespread challenge. But here's the good news. The shift in perspective, maybe. Understanding fast English.
Mm,
It isn't really about some special talent you're born with.
right.
It's not even about hearing more words necessarily. It's more about retraining your brain, getting it to recognize the patterns and the sort of melodies of the sound.
Instead of trying to pick out every single word boundary.
Exactly. It's a skill. And like any skill, you can definitely train it. You can develop it quite profoundly, actually.
That's a great way to think about it, patterns and melodies, not just separate words. And that's pretty much our mission for this deep dive, isn't it?
Hmm.
We want to unpack the why. Why does it sound so fast? And then get into some really practical, actionable strategies. We'll give you some examples, maybe even a few little mini exercises you can try right here with us. So yeah, let's get into it.
Let's do it.
So, okay, when English sounds like this big blur,
Hmm.
what is actually going on? Is it just that people talk really, really fast? Or is something else happening with the sounds themselves?
Well, what's fascinating here is that it's usually less about pure speed, like individual speakers just rushing, and more about this natural thing linguists call connected speech.
Connected speed,
Yeah.
okay.
Instead of saying each word very clearly and separately,
Yeah.
like, I am going to eat. Native speakers very often link words together. It creates a smoother and, yeah, a faster flow.
Oh, okay. That's a good distinction. So it's not just raw speed, it's the flow, the linking. So are we talking about things like I am going to eat kind of collapsing into I'm going to eat? Is that connected speech?
Precisely that. Or think about, what are you doing? How often does that become what you're doing?
Right. What you doing? Yeah.
For learners, yeah, it can really sound like a totally different language sometimes, but it's just these natural shortcuts, these reductions in how we pronounce things.
Okay. So if these reductions, these shortcuts are a big part of the puzzle, how should someone listening approach learning them? Do you like study lists
Yeah.
or just hope you pick them up?
Well, I think a really crucial first step is to actively learn the common ones, get familiar with how it gotta, wanna, gotta, let me, how they actually sound in real speech.
Actively learn them.
Yeah, understanding these patterns explicitly helps your ear. It starts to anticipate them, to recognize them when they fly past.
Okay, let's try a really quick practice then, just to show what we mean. We'll say a common phrase slowly, clearly first, and then how it usually sounds fast. I want you listening right now to try repeating it yourself after the fast version.
Good idea.
Okay, so the slow, deliberate pronunciation. Do you want to eat?
All right, now listen to how fast natural speakers often say it. Do ya wanna eat?
Do you want to eat? Go on, try saying that with us now.
Do ya wanna eat? See?
It's different, right? Yeah. But once you know that's the pattern do you wanna, it suddenly makes catching those faster phrases a lot easier, doesn't it?
It really does unlock things.
So moving on to tools and techniques. This is where it gets interesting. Subtitles. They seem obvious, but how can listeners use them, strategically, not just passively watching?
That's a really good point. Don't just switch them on and zone out. Use them like a bridge.
A bridge. How so?
Start by watching maybe shorter things, YouTube videos, maybe even cartoons are great for this with the English subtitles on. Actively connect the sounds you're hearing with the words you're seeing.
Okay, so matching sound to text.
Exactly. Train your brain to see how spoken words actually look written down. Cartoons, by the way, often have quite clear but still very natural sounding language.
That's a good tip.
And then, once you feel a bit more comfortable, the next step is key. Challenge yourself. Turn the subtitles off. Test your understanding. Force your ear to do the heavy lifting.
Right, okay. So subtitle on to build the connection, then off to test yourself. Makes sense. Now, while we're talking barriers,
Yeah.
let's be honest.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not just how words are said, but simply you don't know the word. Vocabulary is a big one.
Oh, it's huge, but it's also about the kind of vocabulary.
What do you mean?
Well, it's not just knowing the dictionary definition. For listening, it's about developing let's call it the oral fingerprint of a word.
Choral fingerprint. I like that.
Yeah, how it sounds in fast connected speech, how the words around it might change its pronunciation. Like, think of a sentence. He sprinted across the street.
Okay.
If you've never heard the word sprinted before, or you don't know what it means when you hear it, your brain just hits a wall trying to figure it out.
Right, it just stops everything.
It totally halts your comprehension, even if you technically heard the sounds perfectly fine.
So it's really about building that specific listening vocabulary,
Hmm.
which I guess is why keeping something like a dedicated notebook, a listening vocabulary notebook, could be really helpful.
Absolutely. It's remarkably useful. Hear a new word, jot it down, check its meaning, sure, but also try to note how it sounded in that context. Then, and this is important, make a point to review those words later.
So you solidify that oral fingerprint.
Exactly. The more of those fingerprints your brain recognizes instantly, the less it has to guess, and the smoother that fast English starts to sound.
This idea of practice,
Mhm.
it reminds me, you told me about one of your students, Maria, who had trouble with a TV show.
Ah, yes, Maria. It's a great example of consistency. She told me she just couldn't understand her favorite American TV show. Her phrase was, "The characters spoke like lightning."
Huh. I think many people can relate to that feeling.
Definitely. So I suggested she try something specific, watch one episode, but with the subtitles on, pause after each line, and then just try repeating the line herself, mimicking the actors.
Okay, so pausing and repeating each line, that sounds intensive. What happened?
Well, it was pretty amazing, actually. She did it daily, and the daily part is really crucial here. After just 2 weeks, she came back practically beaming. She said, "Now I can understand 70%.
Wow, 70% in 2 weeks. That's significant.
Huge improvement. And the secret, she realized, wasn't hours and hours, but that consistent, active engagement, even in short bursts. Daily work.
Daily active work.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, let's add another layer here. Something that definitely adds to the perceived speed, or at least the difficulty.
Oh, yeah.
Accents.
Yeah, makes sense.
British, American, Australian, Indian. English sounds so different depending on who's speaking and where they're from.
It really, really does. Take a simple phrase like, "Can I have a glass of water?" In, say, standard British English, you might hear something like, "Can I have a glass of water?"
Right, that distinct T sound, almost. Wata. And then in American English.
You're much more likely to hear, "Can I get a glass of water?" That becomes more like a deed sound.
Water. Yeah.
And look, both are perfectly correct English, obviously. They're just pronunciation differences based on regional accents.
So what's the advice then? Just stick to one accent.
No, actually the opposite. I'd say consciously try to broaden your exposure. Mix it up. Watch a British movie one day, maybe listen to an American podcast the next. Read something from Australia.
So deliberately seeking out variety.
Exactly. It makes your ears much more flexible, more adaptable. You start to tune into the underlying similarities even when the surface sounds are different.
Okay, so our ears are getting trained with subtitles, vocabulary, different accents. How do we get our mouths involved? And our brains really working together to internalize these fast sounds. Is there a technique for that active production side?
Yes, and this brings us to a technique that I find really, truly transformative. It's called shadowing.
Shadowing. Okay, what is that exactly?
It's pretty simple in concept, actually. You listen to someone speaking, maybe a news announcer or a podcast host.
Like us.
Yes, like us.
Yeah.
And you immediately repeat what they say, almost like you're their echo, just slightly behind them.
Right, so if I hear the forecast calls for rain, I try to see the forecast calls for rain almost at the same time, just a fraction of a second later.
Exactly. You're shadowing them.
That sounds really hard, actually, especially at first.
Oh, it absolutely is challenging.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the point. What happens is your mouth, your ears, and your brain, they all start working together in sync.
Oh, okay.
You're not just passively taking it in, you're actively engaging with the rhythm, the intonation, the speed, those tricky connected sounds. And slowly, over time, that fast English starts to feel less intimidating, less overwhelming, because your own speech system is getting used to producing it too.
Okay, shadowing. Challenging but powerful. Now, here's something else that feels important, maybe a mindset shift. You mentioned earlier not focusing on every single word. What happens if we do try to catch every little sound?
Well, trying to catch every single word, it actually puts a huge burden on your working memory. It makes it harder to understand the main point.
Really? How so?
It's like, imagine trying to read a sentence by focusing on every individual letter instead of recognizing the whole words and phrases. You'd get bogged down, right?
Yeah, totally. You'd lose the meaning.
Same thing with listening. So if someone says something like, "So basically, I was like running late and then I kind of missed the bus," you know?
Okay. Lots of extra words in there. Basically like kinda. You know.
Exactly. You don't actually need to process any of those filler words to get the meaning. The core message is just
I was late and missed the bus.
precisely. So the advice is focus on that core message. Listen for the keywords, the nouns, the verbs, and tune in to the overall rhythm and intonation. Let the little words just flow by. It frees up your brain to focus on comprehension, not getting stuck on tiny details.
That's a big relief, actually. Don't sweat the small stuff. Focus on the main idea.
Uh,
Okay. And one final really crucial point, I think. Practicing with real people.
oh, absolutely essential. Yes.
Because if you only ever listen to, like, language learning textbooks or perfectly scripted audio,
Mm.
real conversation is going to be a shock, isn't it?
It really is. Textbooks and recordings, they just can't replicate the messiness of real talk, can they? The natural flow, the hesitations, people interrupting each other, all those little nuances of genuine human speech.
Yeah, the unpredictability.
That's why practicing with real people, friends, language partners you find online, maybe joining a conversation group, it's just so incredibly important. Even short, regular chats, 5-10 minutes a day. They train your ear in ways that no scripted material ever could. It becomes natural.
Okay, so real interaction is key. Now, to help make all this practice less of a chore and maybe more enjoyable, we've got a few quick, fun activity ideas for you listening. First up,
Listen to songs. Seriously, songs are fantastic. They help you learn the natural rhythm of English, and because phrases get repeated a lot in choruses.
they really stick in your head. Yeah, music makes those patterns memorable. Good one. Okay, second idea.
Engage with podcasts, obviously.
Yeah.
But especially find podcasts on topics you genuinely find interesting. If you love cooking, listen to a cooking podcast. If you love history, find one about that. It makes the practice feel like fun, like you're just learning about something you enjoy.
And improving your listening is almost a side effect.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay, and a third fun activity.
Try imitating actors. Pick a short scene from a movie or TV show you like,
Okay.
and really try to copy the way the actors speak. Focus on their speed, their pronunciation, their intonation. It's kind of like a playful version of shadowing, maybe?
Yeah, it forces you to pay close attention to those details you might otherwise miss. You can see how that would be fun and useful.
Definitely. So, all right, let's maybe recap the main points from our deep dive today. Understanding fast English. It largely boils down to getting used to connected speech, those natural reductions.
Right, not necessarily people talking faster, but differently.
Exactly. But the good news is you can train your ears with effective, active training, using subtitles strategically on then off, building that specific oral vocabulary.
Practicing techniques like shadowing, exposing yourself consciously to different accents.
And crucially, shifting your mindset. Remember, you don't need to catch every single word. Focus on the main message, the overall rhythm.
Do that consistently, and little by little, your listening comprehension really will improve.
Right.
It just takes patience, persistence. But the payoff, understanding conversations more confidently, that's incredibly rewarding.
It really is. It's a journey, isn't it? Not a race. Just keep engaging with the language in ways you actually enjoy.
Well said.
Yeah.
Okay, before we wrap up, here's a final thought for you to maybe mull over. How might mastering these nuances of fast English, understanding its natural rhythms, how might that not just improve your listening skills on a technical level, but maybe also deepen your connection to different cultures, and to the real, genuine flow of conversation itself? Something to think about. See you next time.